I found a good place to set up and record videos, but then I remembered that I have a bird in the house who likes to sing. So we'll just see how that goes. Well, I guess we know how that goes. Hey, Prince. So, well, one of the things that I've never really fully understood, like one of those many things that I somehow missed the memo about as I was growing up, was just manners, etiquette, those sorts of things, politeness. I don't know how much is being autistic, as I now believe that I am, or if it's sort of, California hippie parents or whatever. But so many of the polite, correct things to do, gonna wait and see if he stops singing. The I'm just gonna keep going. The polite, proper etiquette things to do just never really made sense to me. They don't seem to help much. I'm not entirely against all. I'm not entirely against all of these things, because for just simple things like please and thank you, those are effective at sort of social lubricant, sort of it just sort of makes things nicer, makes things go more easily. Like, oh, you said please, you said thank you. That really, I feel like that helps. But there are all sorts of things that people say and do that just seem really pointless. One of my big bugaboos is, how are you? How are you doing? And again, it's like, if I run into an actual friend and they say, how are you? How is your day going? Whatever. It's like, I'll answer it because I suspect they want to know the answer. But what drives me, again, I feel like this is, classic, sort of autistic, the literal quality in a sense. I sort of feel like if you're asking me, if you speak to me a sentence in the form of a question, you want me to answer that, preferably in some honest way. And so then, but customers come into my store, first thing they say, hey, how are you? How are you doing? Some version of that. And so, since I'm at work, especially these days during COVID and dealing with that, I'm pro wearing masks, but it's still annoying and it costs energy just to wear that through the day. And I'm really biting my tongue about, I just gave up on trying to police try Prince. I gave up on trying to police customers and their mask wearing, because when I did that before, it almost killed me. Just the stress of doing my job and being essentially a security guard on top of that. I got off on a little tangent there. Point is, if I'm at work, I'm often not feeling great. And I'm often not having a great day. Sometimes yes, especially if someone's just brought a dog in. But, so when you say, how are you doing? In my mind, that calls for, some different possible options. One is I tell you how I'm doing, which from an honesty standpoint, that feels like the right thing for me to do. That's different from me wanting to do it. I probably don't want to get into what's going on in my head with someone who just came in to buy a pack of Luckies and some Rainier beer or beef jerky. Beef jerky is a very popular thing. And so they say, how are you doing? And so my choices are to tell them how I'm doing, which I don't want to do, and I suspect they don't really want to hear. Or I can lie. Now, what I'm calling lying is, what a lot of people probably wouldn't even call a lie, or maybe a white lie. It's just, oh, fine, thanks. And yes, I'm fine in the sense that I am not currently being gnawed at by wildebeests. I don't even know. Wildebeests are probably vegetarians. Hyenas. I am fine in that I am not currently being torn asunder by hyenas. But I'm not really feeling fine. I'm not, terribly happy about things. So to me, that feels like lying. Someone else, that's just social lubricant. That's a phatic speech. Is known speech that is not meant to, essentially not to communicate information, but to form social bonds or to have a social sense of communication. Like if you walk into a room and say, what's up? You're not necessarily, that's the form of question. You're not necessarily asking what's up. But rather than communicating, I want to know what is up. What you're communicating is, hello, how you doing? So yeah, I was going to go into a bunch of other politeness things, but I have taken up quite a bit of time just on being annoyed by how you doing. So I'm just going to keep going with that. And the bird is singing, of course. I have no idea how that's going to sound on the recording. Prince bird. So the thing that's even worse, better in some ways, worse in others, than how are you doing, is when you say it in such a way that you don't even pretend that you're expecting any sort of answer. People come into the store and say something like, hey, how you doing? I'm going to need a pack of Camel Lights. Oh, hey, how you doing? Where's the ice? And it's like, you don't even give like a single beat to say, okay. And it's nicer for me in the sense that it's not so awkward for me not to respond to that. But at the same time, it just bothers me because you're not communicating information, and I expect that whatever you say should essentially be informative or entertaining. Like if you just came in like scat singing, I might be like, well, hey, that's cool. I didn't expect scat singing right now. But just these sort of standard conversational things, it drives me bonkers. And I realize that is a me problem. And I've been going at this for almost 10 minutes, so I'm going to stop. Oh yeah, by the way, hat by Sexy Fashion, SEXYFATION. That's the name on Redbubble. She's got an account. She sells all sorts of Nudie Cuties. There are pre-made characters, or you can commission her to do a little chubby pinup of you. Check it out. If I were absurdly rich, I would buy a hat for each of her cuties. And if anyone wants to send me a hat, I will wear it on video, assuming that it's not something totally objectionable.